Aloha, I want to show you how to use the Interact Math website to walk me through solving a problem and solve this system of equations by using the elimination method. So for me to use the elimination method, what I want to do is actually eliminate one of the variables. When I have two equations and two variables, I want to eliminate that information. So I would like to turn this into one equation with one variable so I could use my algebra skills to solve exactly for that variable. So what I want to do first is I want to pick a variable to eliminate. And so say I'm stuck here. The Interact Math website has a nice two keys. One, I could view an example where it'll just walk me through the steps, or another one where it says help me solve this, and it'll actually go through step by step to tell me how do I want to solve it. So they tell me the first step is to write both equations in the general form, ax plus by equals c, where here a, b, and c just represent some number. So essentially what I want to do is get the x and the y variable on the same side and then have it equal to a number, which is the form that both of these are already in. And notice we align vertically the x's, align vertically the y's, align vertically the equal signs, and align vertically the constants on the other side. And so everything's aligned vertically, which is going to be helpful for me to perform operations. And so now they tell me to choose a variable to eliminate. What I want to do is I want to make the variables have opposite coefficients. And so to do this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose which one will be the most advantageous. So I can see that the x coefficients and the y coefficients both will have, if I multiply it by a -2, then they'll have opposite coefficients. And so if I add them together, I won't eliminate them. So now I have to eliminate x is to leave the second equation unchanged and multiply the first equation by a -2. That would give me the x coefficient in the first equation -10 and the x coefficient in the second equation +10. So when I add those two equations together, I'll get 0. So when I multiply the first equation by a -2, then it tells me, fantastic, that's what you want to do. So they've done that for me. They multiplied the first equation by -2. So 5x times -2 gives me -10x, 6y times -2 gives me -12x, and 2 times -2 gives me -4. And so now I want to add those two equations together. So -10x plus 10x is 0x, -12y plus 12y is 0y, so 0x plus 0y is 0, and I have -4 plus 4, and that's going to give me 0. So I check my answer, and that's correct. So this is a specific type of system where when I have 0 equals 0, that means I'm going to have an infinite number of solutions. I have an infinite number of solutions because no matter what I plug in for x, then I can solve for y in my first equation. It's going to be the same values in my second equation. And so I know that if I plug in a value for x, then in my first equation, if I do 2 minus 6y and divide it by 5, that's going to give me my value for y. Essentially what I did is I just said like, okay, well here's x, let's solve for x, and then it's going to give me my value. And so when I wanted to, how do I know there is a solution? If it was no solution, it would say something like 0 equals 4 or 0 equals -8. So 0 equals something other than 0. When 0 equals 0, that's true. 0 is not equal to 4. So that would be no solution. So it tells me to check my answer, and they're like, no, you should solve for x in terms of y and for y in terms of x. And so see which solution matches one of those answer choices. And so if I chose C, then that would have actually given me my correct response. That way I picked the value for y, I plugged it in, and that gave me my answer.